Deont's going to at least make him finish on the other lane this time, but the way Mazza's been striking, he's hitting both of them. And we get our first look at big Dave Deont.
Well, he's a great player, looking to get that dominant game that he had a couple of years ago back. Had a little problem this year, but take a look at this powerful style. And right there he says, "Hey, John, I'm here."
So interesting, these big guys sometimes are so powerful so smoothly. Billy Whaley was that like that.
Yeah, and Dave is another good example of a big man who's very powerful but does it in very nice rhythm and motion. And John Mazza certainly has found a little bit of room on both lanes. As he looks down at the rack, he goes for a re-rack, doesn't like the way they're sitting on 71. If I were to guess, I'd say that it looked like the head pin a little bit to the left, closing the rack down a little bit for the left-handed John Mazza.
How's that one look?
It looks about the same. John defeated Dave Deont in match play rather easily, but they're all even right now.
7-pin, left lane, second frame.
And with a closed rack, that's what the pro thinks about. How is it going to hit half pocket? Half pocket, weak. Maybe it was the rack. Maybe it was just the shot John threw.
Interesting how he shoots the spare. See those two fingers? He puts the ring finger and the little finger in there to shoot that spare.
He does that to make sure that he doesn't put a lot of roll on the ball, hard and straight, and no problem.
There's an interesting tip. You ever tried that?
I have, well, I've tried it, but I don't think my tendons would probably appreciate that very often.
About this, he's looking at his hand.
I'm looking at my hand going, no, I won't do that to your hand.
Deont trying for a quick double. Oh,
what a bad break, but I saw something in that delivery that's going to really help Dave throughout this match. That was left of his target. The ball, as you say, hooked out. It stopped on a shot that looked like it was going through the nose to me. The ball stopped.
And he knew it was going to stop. He was running it out at the 9-pin. Now it's time for Dexter's footwork of the pros.
We see Dave Deont with a good heel-toe motion in his steps. Steps are a little longer than most bowlers, but a good knee bend allows his strength to create a lot of power. Watch this good knee bend. Really a beautiful style from a very strong man.
Finishes quite a ways from the foul line there, about 6 inches.
Fortunate just to leave the 2-pin, doesn't leave the 10-pin with it for a little extra company. And there's Dave's wife, Sylvia. She flew in today from Cleveland.
Not
sure
a far trip.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people in Cleveland aren't real pleased at the outcome of the series, but I thought that the Indians really did a great job, and they were just a little bit outplayed towards the end.
Just a little bit. It's CFA football. The undefeated Tar Heels of North Carolina, they take on Georgia Tech and quarterback Joe Hamilton. It's an ACC showdown. That's tomorrow night. Coverage begins with the weekend kickoff show. That's at 7:30 p.m.
John Mazza in the 3rd frame with a 1-pin lead. Needs to strike to keep it. And look at this. Oh, gets the messenger, but a little bit of interference. Right now, Mazza's opponents are averaging 177 at him. He's averaging 236, so having it his way.
Cross lane at the 7-pin. As he converts that, we want to inform you of the PBA's information hotline for all the latest PBA news, stats, and information. And to hear an interview with tonight's Ebonite Challenge champion, check out the PBA's information hotline at 1-900-420-4PBA. If you've got a question for Mazza or Deont, whoever wins, and it's selected, you could hear the answer on the hotline 45 minutes after tonight's telecast. Ooh.
Well, it's been a while since John Mazza has not hit the 1-2 pocket.
Now, do you think that the 2 7-pins caused him to ease up and go?
You know, a lot of times when you leave a half pocket 7 for a left-hander or a half pocket 10 for a right-hander, you want to fit the ball a little deeper in the pocket. And I think what happened on that shot was he lost his speed control. The ball hooked early on him.
At the spare. Boy, what a great way to shoot spares.
Well, he's exhibited an excellent technique for shooting spares, just using the pinky finger or the ring finger of his left hand. Certainly works for him. I know on the senior tour, Gary Dickinson uses just the ring finger.
Fourth frame, Deont leading by 3. Snapped hard, left the 3-6. PBA Hall of Famer, former public relations director for the PBA, Bud Fisher. Changes balls to shoot the 3-6 cross lane. A spare, and he'll lead by 1 pin, Marsh.
And a good spare for Dave.
You can see Deont was the leader in the 2nd round, and then after the last round, Tom Baker was up there for a couple of rounds.
Dave told me that he bowled this week kind of like his Indians played baseball, kind of on a roller coaster. Take a look at that grip of Dave Deont. He tucks that pinky finger for extra power, cups the wrist, and really lets it go. Watch this ball hook. Oh my gosh.
Solid 9, solid 8.
Well, he's just, right now, he's got to pat himself on the back and say, okay, I made a great shot. I didn't get very lucky as we watch this ball go well to the right. And it ends up absolutely high flush in the pocket. There goes the 5-pin straight back and solid 8. Well, match is all even. And there's another good break for John Mazza.
Well, right now, if he strikes, we have an even match halfway through the championship game.
And every time somebody has given him an opportunity, he's walked right through the door. Isn't that, you watch these bowlers bowl, you watch Dave Deont leave a solid 8, and then take a look at the pin action on a shot that looked like it might have been the bucket. Crumble, crumble, there they go. That ball was very light in the pocket, and
that's his cheesecake strike with an excellent crumble crust.
yeah, he'd like to turn that into a double right here and take a 10-pin lead.
For the double and the lead.
There's a great shot from John Mazza. He just splits the 8 and the 9-pin with the ball.
For the first time in the match, Deont is trailing as he bowls on the right lane, 72 in the 6th frame. As the graphic shows, he's working on a spare in the 5th frame. I asked him how he went from 22nd to 1st.
Well, it's not quite as amazing as it seems. Even though I was 22nd, I was only 180 or 90 pins out of 5th. That was my main goal, just try and get to 5th. I bowled well in the morning, got to 10th, and come in the night block. And when I shot a big game, the other guys in the top 5 seemed to falter a little bit, so things just went my way.
Well, they haven't been going his way in this match, but he can even the match with a double in the 7th frame.
Oh, yes, Dave. How about that, a break for me, he's saying.
Wow, I don't know what pin came off and got that 9-pin.
Well, we'll take a look at the pin action. Now, what pin is this?
It's the 2-pin.
2-pin comes back and just kicks the bottom of the 9-pin. Yeah.
And he gives thanks. Maza retake the lead.
He's got that rhythm going back again as he strikes.
He just appears fearless out there.
His mental game is just so much better than it was 4 or 5 years ago. He's really matured. As we see our scoreboard, Dave Deont now 10 pins down. Kind of hoping that Mazza doesn't make it 20.
Yeah, just leave something, he says.
John Mazza looking very, very good. You know, he was on our telecast last week, shot that 290 in the opening game, and then lost the second match.
Deont in a must-strike situation, trailing by 20 pins, 8th frame, right lane.
It's just a matter of execution. He has this lane.
Has it. It's Sunday night NFL on ESPN. The coverage begins this Sunday as the Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers take on division rival, the Detroit Lions, and running back Barry Sanders. Be coming to you from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Join ESPN for all the exciting NFL action, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. That's Sunday, November the 2nd. 9th frame here, a strike to even the match and set up a 10th frame finish.
And not having the problem with the approach because he's sliding deeper than Mike Edwards was the prior game. Must strike. Must strike. And there's the first great break for the opposition of John Mazza. Take a look at how far this ball goes to the right. Now, is it going to get back? Look at the 10 pin. Something just barely rolls it in. All right. It's a great reaction.
The 6 pin just clipped that 10 going around.
Just enough.
Mazza to regain the lead.
What a great title match. It's just, I'm punching you, you're punching me.
And Mazza takes a quick 10-pin lead.
And in the 10th frame, if John Mazza gets 2 strikes in the 10th, all he needs to do is just keep the ball in the lane. He'll win the tournament. But he must strike here.
Working on 5 in a row.
Something distracted him.
Reset. Puts that hand on the ball.
Gave it more room. Oh, and he gave it more room and threw it harder. The ball hung, and right now Dave Deont is in a very, very good position. John Mazza needs to make this spare in order to make Dave Deont strike the first ball in the 10th. Watch this ball go further to the left, and he also threw it harder. Can't see it in the slow motion, but it was more speed. Fortunate that the 9-pin fell out. Has a chance to make this. Oh, that's a terrible way to finish a tournament. That really, really hurts. Leslie knows it. Well, there have been a couple opens in the 10th frame on tonight's show. Tom Baker did it in his match against Mazza. Mazza does it against Dave Deont for the title right now. Deont needs to fill 15 in the 10th frame.
This is what the PBA is all about. Exciting championship matches.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. He needs to make that. A little slow. He thought he had it. He thought it was going to hold pocket.
And suddenly he's looking at the score. If he doesn't get this, he's going to finish with 212.
Mazza's crying. He is, but I'll tell you what, John, as hard as Dave Deont can throw the ball, it's not inconceivable that he could bounce this out. Very doubtful, but look at the speed.
Doesn't happen.
John Mazza. John Mazza wins, and boy, he is absolutely just sobbing.
The hug between the two bowlers. Mazza can't believe his good fortune. Deont can't believe that he split in the 10th frame.